Live now. Live now.
Vijay sir, could you please confirm whether it is live now? Ms. Alisha, can you start?
Yes, ma'am. I was just waiting. We will start?
Yes.
Okay. Mental health is not a destination, but a journey. One, yeah. Bijoy sir, you need to mute your mic actually. Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay. Mental health is not a destination but a journey, one that deserves compassion, awareness, and action. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to our World Mental Health Day webinar. We are honored to have with us our respected principal, vice principal, faculty members, and our esteemed speaker Ms. Avni Ved, and my dear students. Today's session is centered around a topic that resonates deeply with our generation: FOMO, filter and feelings, social media, and mental health. To begin this meaningful evening, may I first invite our Vice Principal Ma'am to kindly share a few words with us.
Thank you, Alisha.
Welcome.
A very good evening to one and all assembled here in this online meeting. Tomorrow is World Mental Health Day, and we at Indian School Bausha, we have organized this session to remind that mental well-being is just as important as physical health. It is a day to pause, reflect, and reaffirm our commitment to creating a community where everyone feels heard, supported, and valued. At Indian School Bausha, we believe that education is complete only when it nurtures both the mind and the heart. Through our initiatives on wellness sessions, counseling support, and awareness drives, we continuously strive to promote the mental well being of both students and staff. We encourage open conversations, compassion, and the courage to seek support when needed. Today, we are indeed privileged to have with us Ms. Avni Ved, our esteemed resource person for today's session. With her rich expertise in mental health and counseling, we look forward to gaining valuable insights that will help us manage our emotions better and make mindful choices in our digital world. The topic she will be addressing today on FOMO and social media is particularly relevant in today's times, especially for our young learners. The constant need to stay connected and the fear of missing out can often lead to anxiety, distraction, self doubt. Understanding this phenomenon will empower us to use social media wisely and maintain a healthy balance in our lives. We extend a warm welcome to you, Ms. Avni, and look forward to an enriching and thought provoking session. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me at the session today. I think it's a great privilege for me to be here and to talk to all the students today. I think we have students right from grade 6 all the way up to grade 12. So I hope all that I talk today is relatable to all of you. And to introduce myself, my name is Avni, and I've been a psychology teacher. I've worked as a counselor previously, and I'm currently pursuing my PhD. And I've been in Muscat, and yes, I hope that our conversation is useful today. And let's begin, I think. Let's start. Ma'am, can I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Just give- Okay, is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Thank you so much. Great. So as you can see, the topic for today is FOMO filters and feeling fine. Now, the generation that we all live in, okay, you, me, all of us, everybody here, at one point, we all were forced to switch our lives completely, to a digital world. We had zero interaction, we had zero conversation face to face. And this was very recently during the period of COVID. But although that period is over now, although we've come back to our normal life, do you still think that these things have stayed with us? How much we, relied on all these, how much we relied on social media use, how much we relied on online meetings, that hasn't left us completely. While it had its advantages, we also still have some disadvantages that we carry with us today. So my first question to all of you is, how many of you check your phone before you get out of bed in the morning? So I don't know about how many, because I think all of y'all are on YouTube, most of you. But I can say that although I try very hard not to, on most days I wake up checking my phone. Even if I have to switch off my alarm, the first thing I do is, what notifications I have, who has messaged me at night. And it's a habit that is not great. Why is it not a good habit? Let's talk about that. Because as soon as you've woken up, you have so many notifications from your Instagram, from your YouTube, from your WhatsApp, from every shopping app that you use. And your mind is already, you've just woken up, and there is a lot of information that is suddenly thrown at you. So your brain gets anxious even without you realizing. So, yeah, something we must be mindful of. So let's talk about some statistics. In 2005, which was 20 years ago, only 5% of adults use social media. So, to most of the students who are watching the webinar today, who are with us today in this conversation, I'm sure you've not even heard of these apps called Orkut. So, when I was young, when I was in school, maybe eighth grade or something, my first ever social media account was Orkut, and it was a big thing to have. And you all would have laughed at us for having Orkut accounts, because it was very different, and it was not modern at all. But we would be so excited. And I come from the generation, although I'm not very old, but I come from the generation when I would call my friends, over their landline and tell them, you must come online, let's go and chat. Through our Gmail accounts, we would chat online to share our secrets. So that's how we used internet. And internet back then was very expensive. At least when I was in school, it was extremely expensive. So we did not get so much access to having internet or playing online games. But today, we cannot even stay half an hour without using internet. Everything you carry with you is on your phone. And today, 70% of people, have social media accounts. And for teens, it's almost everybody who uses a social media account. So today's generation that we all are living is one of the most connected generation in the history. But connection does not mean we are also, doing extremely well mentally. So let's discuss this a little bit more in detail. The good side of social media. Let's talk about the good side first before we switch to why we shouldn't be using it and what are the harmful sides, etc. So, of course, social media is great. I use social media myself. I use Instagram, I use LinkedIn, I use YouTube, a lot of other apps that I use myself. Now, what is the good side? It helps you express yourself. It helps you keep in touch with people. It helps you, learn so much from people around the world. You're able to connect to your friends who live very far from you. So it's a great way. The connectivity has definitely given us a lot to learn. But also, there is also an overdose of information. And nearly 1 in 3 teenagers feel like it's their favorite way to be creative, either by editing video, sharing art, music, stories, or ideas that actually matter to them. And maybe, 10 years ago, becoming famous was not that easy. But today, everybody has an Instagram account. If you're really good at something, you have an Instagram account, you're able to share your work with the world. There is no limit, there are no boundaries to it. But it all comes at a certain cost. So, of course, there are good sides of it. But when does it start turning into something that's dangerous for us? When connections turn into comparison, when scrolling, mindlessly on social media replaces real conversation. So now let's get into the neuroscience of it. How do you think social media has an impact on your brain? So as soon as, from your childhood, you start growing from around age 10 onwards, 10 to 11, your brain becomes extra sensitive to social feedback. What kind of social feedback? Things like likes, views, followers, comments, everything that you get through social media. So every time you get a like on your post, or there is some interaction on your social media posts, maybe through a comment, share, somebody is sending you a message, when people are interacting with your profile, your brain releases dopamine, which is a good, feel good hormone. And you want to do it again. You want to keep engaging in that activity over and over again, because every time you get a like, your brain feels like it's getting a reward. So that loop is non-stop. And when you get a like, you feel great. But when you've posted something and nobody's noticed it, or you don't see that people are liking it, it also makes you very anxious. Correct? So that's your brain's way of responding to social feedback. It's scientific, and it's not something that's your weakness. And honestly, I've seen a lot of times that people, young adults, youth, or even I'll talk about myself. I also keep checking my phone, like what is wrong with my post, why am I not getting a lot of engagement on this particular post, etc. So that's just the way our brain is wired. Now, because our brain is wired like this, now that you're aware of it, you need to correct it. You cannot just say, oh, this is how my brain is structured and I can't do anything out of it, it's not in my control. No, we're holding this session because now I'm making you aware. So every time this happens, you have to tell yourself, you have to take that initiative and tell yourself that,
Miss Avni, sorry to interrupt you, but we are not able to hear you actually.
oh, am I audible now? Am I
Ma'am,
audible?
we can hear you.
You can?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem.
Thank you.
So I'll continue.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, please go.
Just give me a second. Yeah. Okay. So yes, of course. So I was saying, so I'm sorry. So every time your post does not get engagement, your brain starts questioning, or it starts becoming anxious, or you start feeling restless. So now that you're aware that this is your brain's way of responding, you must be able to take more charge of it and control that mechanism. Now, how do your apps keep you hooked? A lot of times, tell me if it's relatable to you. You feel like, okay, I'm going to just check my phone for 15 minutes and that's it. I'm going to get back to my work. Only 15 minutes. I'm going to scroll through Instagram, or I'm going to be on YouTube for like 5 minutes. That's it. But you end up spending like 2 hours, and then you're like, where did the time go away? I didn't even realize it. Does this sound familiar to you? Have you had such experiences? Yes, because I too have had these experiences. Now let's understand why this happens. The first one, infinite scroll. Now a brain is designed in a way where you need to see something. We have a finishing line, but have you ever seen any of these social media apps saying that you've scrolled enough for today, or this is the end, we have no post to show you? Does any of your social media account do that? You'll keep Instagram tells you you're up to date, but if you again refresh your page, it will show you newer posts. Is that correct? Yes, it is. So the point is, there is a lot for social media to offer to you. The posts are endless, you're never going to get enough of it. So although you've had enough, you've consumed enough information, but you cannot stop spending time on social media accounts. It's because your brain does not get the end message. Okay, so even, and you end up mindlessly scrolling. So that's point number one. Point number two, notifications. Now, although we feel like notifications are not, are controlled and this and that, but it's not random. They are controlled. When you turn off your phone and you keep it on side, you'll notice it that as soon as you keep your phone away, or you stop using a particular app for a while, suddenly you'll start getting notifications like, oh, you've not been using this app, or even something like a food delivery app like Talabat. Okay, if you've not ordered for, let's say, 5-6 days, suddenly you'll get an app that, oh, you've not ordered, I'll give you a 5% discount coupon, browse. Or if you're ordering clothes online, again you'll get a notification. So notifications are constant. If they feel like you've not been logging into the app, they will again start bombarding you with all these notifications to get your attention back. So they are not random, but they all are controlled. And lastly, and most importantly, algorithms. How many of you have heard of algorithms? Have you heard of this concept called algorithms? Is this familiar to you? It is. Great. So what are algorithms? Algorithms are all of these apps' way to track the way you interact with their posts and the information that they share with you. So if you are liking a certain kind of post, if you're constantly looking up for certain kinds of posts, for example, I love dogs, and I'm looking at all dog videos, your Instagram is going to show you only dog videos, more and more dog videos. Okay. And all the apps that you are using are related. They all are collecting your data. So even if you've looked up for something on Google, like how to remove stain from a white shirt, next day the next thing you'll see is you'll start getting advertisements of stain removers. So because these apps are collecting all your data, and actually there is nothing private. So whatever you look up, everything, how you're interacting with posts, what kind of information you're liking, everything, it's all connected. And all of these things keep you hooked to your social media accounts. Now, where is the risk? Where does the risk lie? Around 13% of teens report being cyberbullied, and nearly two-thirds say that they regularly see hateful or harmful content online. Teens who spend most of the time scrolling often feel more anxious or lonely, especially when they haven't had, face-to-face interaction. So as I mentioned previously, I used to work at a school and I used to be a school counselor. And what I noticed right after the COVID period was people or students were very comfortable to share information online, interact online, because they could keep their cameras off. But as soon as they had to start coming back to school, they found it really difficult to have conversations. They found it really hard to connect with people, to speak in front of a group of people, because of the way they looked. They couldn't hide anymore. So it made them really anxious. So yes, so if you don't interact with people face to face at all, and you're only using your social media accounts to talk to everybody, it is really going to impact your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and your ability to connect with people in the real world. And almost half of teens admit to the following things. Firstly, struggling to stop scrolling even if they want to. It's not like we are not aware. It's not like we don't want to do it, but we mindlessly scroll information online because, it's all a trap. Social media is finding ways to keep you hooked on. So that. Then teens have also admitted to hiding how long they've been online. We tell people, oh, I don't spend more than an hour on my social media accounts, but that's not really true. We don't like to admit it, but we spend way more time than we like to admit. And losing sleep or focus because of social media. And it's not just about the hours on screen, it's also about how it makes you feel and how much control you have over it. So if you're looking at a particular kind of content, it influences the way you connect with people in the real world, your thought process, etc. So the kind of content also that you engage with can make you feel good or bad. And sometimes, I don't know if you've had these experiences. Sometimes if you're engaging with some content after, you finish using your phone, although you've not done anything, you've just been watching something, you feel drained out. It's because the content did not make you feel very good. So it chat, and that was one of the first app with a lot of filters. So although it started evolving as, all those funny filters where you could have like dog ears and cat ears and everything, eventually filters have evolved to make you look more beautiful, to, enhance your features. And although we started using them as harmless, eventually after a point, it's very hard for people to upload a photo without using filters. So although in both of these images, there is nothing wrong with the left image, she would just prefer using the right image because it makes her look better. The lighting is better, her face looks more, I don't know, the angle, the makeup, everything just looks better, it is more enhanced. So social media, the way people appear online is not the way they appear in reality. So of course they find it very hard to meet people and show up in reality because of it, because you're not going to look that white, or you're not going to have makeup always on. So it does have an impact on your self-esteem and your self-confidence as well. So although using filters is very normal, just remember that if you start showing only your perfect version, it's leave other people, the ones who are, interacting with your posts, but it's also having an impact on your own mental health. So learn to accept yourself, and it's okay to have scars, it's okay to have those freckles on your skin, those dark circles and those lines, because we all are human. So learn to see yourself even normally as much as possible. Don't try to use too many filters on your photos. They are fine, but too much is too bad. So of course, now I have a question for you. What's the one thing that people wouldn't guess about you just by seeing your profile? Because all of us try to post a perfect life. Have you ever posted a photo of yourself crying on your social media accounts? I'm sure nobody does that. But what is that one thing that people will not be able to guess about you through your social media accounts? Anybody?
Yeah,
You
we
can.
do have students here.
Yes.
All those students who are here in the meeting, you may voice out.
Okay, I'll begin. I think we'll give them some time. I can tell you that if you look at my profile on online, I'm definitely sure people cannot guess that I'm not a very confident person, and I am scared of a lot of things. I'm scared to talk also, and I'm not a very social person in reality. So that's something they can never make out by looking at my social media. So yeah, we make impressions about people, right? The lifestyle they have, the kind of things they post, we just assume. So is there something that people cannot guess about you when they look at your social media accounts? Nobody?
You can, no, 1 second. I think earlier the setting was that they can't unmute themselves. Now they can unmute. So those who wish to answer can unmute and give the answer.
It's
Okay,
okay. Let's move on.
no problem. You can continue.
Yes, no problem. Okay. Now let's talk about digital stress. So you all are aware of stress as a term. Stress is anything that puts you under a lot of pressure. But now digital stress is a term that I don't know how many of you are aware of. So digital stress is real. It's very real. So under digital stress, there are 4 types of stress that come under it. The first one is FOMO. That's fear of missing out. So please remember that most people, okay, majority of the people that you see online are sharing only 5% of their life on their social media accounts, no matter who it is. Okay, and the 95% is not shared. They share only the top 5%. So when you are looking at other people's profiles, you're constantly wondering, oh, how are they partying, how are they traveling, how are they going to all these places, why am I not a part of this group, or why am I not able to do this? Because as humans we tend to compare our 100% life with their 5% of what they intend to show us. So that's the fear of missing out. And it's not just you, but a lot of us, even me, and I'm sure many other adults face this fear of missing out. So now there is this new concept that has evolved. It's called JOMO. JOMO, that's joy of missing out. If you're missing out on information, it's fine. Your mind needs a break. You don't have to constantly know where others are, what they are doing, because that information is not going to help you succeed in any way, right? It's not adding any benefit to you. So sometimes if you don't log into your social media accounts and you're like, I want a break, it's fine. So that's fear of missing out. Second is cognitive overload. That's too many notifications, too many messages, the constant need to be available. Your friends are messaging you on Instagram, they're sending you reels, they're sending you something on TikTok, something on WhatsApp. So there's a lot of cognitive overload. You're not able to take a break and step back. You feel like you constantly need to be engaged, which again stresses your mind. Then comes availability stress, feeling like you can't take a break, of course, because now people are easily reachable. You can call anybody anytime, you can ping them anytime. Earlier, internet was not that accessible, so you had to wait until people check their emails or whatever. But now people don't wait, so there are no boundaries. People text you, call you whenever they feel like. And then comes the last type of digital stress, which is approval anxiety. Now, although we like it or no, we all, to a certain extent, develop this approval anxiety. That is how people will accept us online, how much they will like the content that we share online. Okay, so we always are checking who's liked or viewed our stories or our posts online, and that kind of makes us anxious. So when people are looking at your posts, you feel happy. When they're engaging, you're happy. But if people are putting mean comments or they're not really engaging that much, you keep questioning, like, what's wrong? Why is it not why are people not engaging? Why is nobody liking my post? Should I delete it? Such thoughts, you waste a lot of time. So the more we get stuck in these loops, the more drained our brains feel, even when we haven't done anything wrong. And now, physical stress may be that you've gone and exercised and your body is tired. So you go to bed and you try to rest. Now, but digital stress is something that you carry with yourself even when you're trying to sleep. So sometimes all these four types of stress, okay, when you're going to bed, they keep your brain awake. So although your brain is tired, you want to sleep, but your phone is not letting you sleep, your eyes are shutting down, but that need to engage doesn't let you sleep. So your brain really gets tired. And also, have you noticed that your generation, or I'm not going to say entirely your generations, to some extent even my generation, we find it difficult to be bored. You see kids today, you tell them anything and they'll say, I'm bored, I don't want to do this, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. They'll get bored really easily. Why does that happen? Because of constant stimulation. You don't like a post, you change. So you have too many options, because of which your brain is not able to take a pause, it's not able to take a break. You're constantly providing it with something new. And in reality, is that possible? I don't like this, so change. I don't like this, so change. That doesn't really work, right? So it, because of our digital usage of all these applications, we find it hard to adapt to our reality. Now, I also want to talk to you something about something that's very, very important. That's your digital footprint. Now, what is your digital footprint? Anybody can answer. You can see an image that I've put here. So any of the students who can guess, you've probably not heard of it, but if you're able to take a guess. Nobody? Okay. So although we post something online today for fun, we believe that if we delete that information, it's gone forever. But that's not how it works. When you,
Ma'am,
yes,
digital footprint is the small pieces of data that can be collected by hackers or companies.
right. Okay. Thank you, Rahmat. Thank you for answering that. So digital footprint. Okay, so what is a footprint? When you walk somewhere, your footprint comes, or when you have your hand, for example, I'm holding this cup, my fingerprints come here, right? So when you're using an app, when you're engaging with an app, anything online, when you're posting information, commenting on a post, sending somebody a digital message, it's all saved. Although we believe that we can delete it and it's gone and nobody can track us, that's not how it works. All the data that you're sharing, a lot of times you start using new apps, they say accept cookies. And how many of us honestly go and read everything, all the information that they're collecting? Most of us don't. We just say accept all cookies. So when you're saying accept all cookies, they are taking access from you to collect all of your information. So every message that you send, all the information, all the engagement, every data that you share with somebody is collected. Okay, everything you post leaves a trace and people notice. In fact, some universities have cancelled admissions after seeing offensive or careless posts. So if you think right now I'm in 6th or 7th grade or maybe in 10th grade and I laugh about somebody or I make a meme out of somebody, it's going to go away. How is it going to matter? If that post is saved somewhere, okay, your university finds it, because international universities will ask you for your link of your Instagram, for your link of your TikTok, everything. And they will verify all of your information before they actually give you admission. And in fact, even getting a job right now, till date, if I have to get a job somewhere, now companies ask you to post links of your social media accounts, because they verify the kind of information that you've been sharing online, the kind of information that you've been posting online, because it's become a major part of your identity. So you might have the chance of being rejected in the future by a university or maybe your maybe your future employer, if you post any comment even as a joke. 5-10 years later, you'd never know where it comes back from, because yeah, everything is available to everybody. So before you post anything online, ask yourself, would it be okay if a teacher, college, or a future boss saw this particular comment? Because they can track you. Nothing gets deleted forever. And again, we live in the world of screenshots. So if somebody has taken a screenshot of the message you've sent them, it's a way to catch people, right? So please be extremely mindful of what kind of content you engage in online, the kind of information you share with your friends online, what you're saying, what you're doing, everything. And please stay away from writing mean comments, writing insensitive things. Memes look fun, but if you're looking for a job or if you're looking to study abroad, you never know, one meme that you've created can actually create trouble for you later on in life, because it's all a part of your digital footprint. Okay. So we come to the last part of my session today, which is use social media wisely and don't let it use you. So the first important point for you to remember is set scrolling hours, however hard it is. Make sure you create a routine for your mind. Don't get carried away by notifications or algorithms. Reset your algorithms and decide for yourself that, okay, this is the time I come back from school, or this is when I want to engage with my social media accounts, regardless of what social media you use. If it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever you use, set specific hours that you will use them in. Unfollow stress. If you notice that certain accounts are making you feel stressed, anxious, they're making you angry, they're not really benefiting you. Sometimes even feelings of jealousy appear. You're looking at a friend who's constantly posting about this, that, all things that, although they look real online, even an influencer, right? Sometimes they post content that looks unbelievable and it looks like too good to be true, and we start feeling jealous. We start having these feelings of envy. It's not really healthy, because we can't switch our life to that. And remember, they all are doing it for money. Even influencers are getting money for posting whatever they are posting. They don't have a life like that. That's not their real life. So if you feel like a specific account is making you stressed or anxious, unfollow, block, or mute them. Even if you can't do anything else about it, mute those accounts. And add real life to your feed. So whatever you're good at, whatever you think is your passion, don't use it just to post, something that looks acceptable and something your generation will like, but use social media more wisely to be creative, to express your thoughts, your art, whatever you're good at. And I think nowadays most of the students have this new trend of having a private account and a normal account. So your private account is something.pvt, where you post all junk photos. But again, everything leaves your digital footprint, because it's all linked. So please be careful. Then no phones in bed. Charge your phone outside your room, because the blue light or the notifications have an impact on the kind of sleep that you get. They impact your sleep quality. They don't let your mind or brain switch off. So if you can't stay away, then put your phone in another room. Log off with intention. When you close the app, do it on purpose and not because your phone died. Be mindful of how much time you decided for yourself. Set an alarm, do whatever, and it all happens mindfully. It comes with an intention, Because if you don't, then social media will definitely control you. One screen-free thing daily is something that you all must pledge to do. Find an activity that you don't use your screen. Maybe go for a walk, talk to a friend, hang out, try to make something in the kitchen with your mom. Do anything that does not require you to use the screen, at least one activity each day. And after after scrolling, notice how you feel. If you feel good, you're engaging with the right kind of content. But if you feel drained, it's time to change your algorithms, and you can reset your algorithms. If you don't know how to do it, Instagram has like these whole steps. So if you feel like you're not engaging with the right type of content, detox, take a break, reset your algorithms, all of it. Curate, don't consume, be intentional about what you watch, follow creators who teach, inspire, or make you laugh, and show what their real life is. Of course, everything is not real, but try to follow content that actually makes you feel good and you get something out of it, not something that's just there and you're watching it just for the sake of it. So social media, of course, has its risks, but also has its benefits. It all depends on how you use it. And today we're here because tomorrow is World Mental Health Day to leave you all with the message: your mind is precious. All that you're doing right now is because your ability to listen to me, your ability to do well in school is all because of your mind. Physically, you're healthy, right? So it's also important for you to take care of your mind. And unfortunately, social media is playing a very big role in how healthy our mind is, what kind of information you're consuming online. So please take care of yourselves. And yes, thank you so much for having me over.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. It has been very much insightful as to going on from the very first beginning and knowing to know different terminologies. And in the end, as the way you're giving the solutions, it's more like detoxifying ourselves. And I'm assuming that most of our students will surely follow that. Okay. Now, there is we have also kept a small question and answer session. So, all the students, if you have any questions that you want to ask Ms. Avni, you can unmute yourself and ask. If not, then of course you can put it in the chat box and then we can take it up from there as well. So I am giving few minutes. So if you have anything, kindly raise your hand. If not, unmute and speak.
I think
Ritika?
I have a question.
Yeah, Ritika has raised. Yes, Ritika, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, ma'am. So I was wondering, with AI filters and deepfakes becoming so common right now, how can we train ourselves to stop what's real and what's not when we're online?
I'm sorry, you said a lot of people are using filters.
Um, okay, one second. Since AI and deepfakes are really common online right now, how would it be possible for us to train ourselves to understand what's real and what's not real?
Great. Thank you, Ritika, for that question. And of course, it's very scary how quickly AI is taking over everything. While it's benefiting us, it also has its downside. But I think as much as AI is developing, our scientists are also developing tools online through which you can verify if the information has been generated through an AI block. So if you see something that looks too good, too perfect, then I think you have your resources. You definitely have apps through which you can check. And again, don't believe everything that you see online, because right now a lot of people use ChatGPT to have conversations when they're feeling low or whatever. It's not human. It's not great, but again, it's tracking your information. It's taking all that you're saying and it's going to use it. Anything that's for free does not come for free. They are collecting your data. So just be mindful, be cautious of the apps that you use and the digital footprints that you give away. And yeah, you can use these other online apps to verify. Anybody else? Srishti.
Shrushti, the sign is Shrushti. You can unmute yourself, Shrishti.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. I have a question. Do you think that digital detox really help, or should we just instead learn to balance our online and offline lives daily?
That's a great question. Thank you, Srishti, for that question. So now, personally, when I feel like I'm getting too overwhelmed by my social media accounts, so there's too much information that I don't need, I go off, I deactivate my accounts, and I don't come back until I think I'm ready for it. And honestly, it feels like I'm hiding from the whole world because nobody is aware of what I'm doing, where I am. They're not able to track me at all. And it's surprising, right? Because people are not keeping in touch with you, they're just tracking what you're doing online. So if people really want to stay in touch with you, they will put the effort to call you, which has become rare now. So uh, detoxes are great, but again, if sometimes it might not work. So rather than going for a full-fledged detox until you're ready for it, try to balance. Keep a check on how much social media you're engaging with daily, the hours you're spending, the kind of content you're engaging with, and try to stick to it as much as possible. And at least make sure you don't, ruin your sleep or your friendships. You're having your online interactions. Online interactions, but are also keeping in touch with your friends face to face. You're not saying, oh, we met online, or we can just do it online, and say, oh, let's not meet in real. So try to balance that out, and I think you'll be okay. But if you feel like it's too much, you can always deactivate your accounts, because that's what I do. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Rahmat, who has raised hand, and few others as well. So Rahmat, you can start.
Hello, ma'am. How does social media affect our attention span and ability to focus on studies or real life conversations?
Yes, thank you, Rahmat, for that question. So, like I said previously during the session also, that our generation or the world that we live in today, we are not comfortable with being bored. We get bored very easily, right? As a child, I remember that my parents never give me 100% entertainment all the time. If I was bored, they would be like, "It's okay, just get bored." But today we have our phones, and you don't like something, you're constantly like changing, 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 and you're just swiping to the next thing. So that constant stimulation is reducing your attention span. You don't wait. Okay, we're losing patience. We don't give things enough time. And in reality, whatever you do will take time. If you don't like something and you're uncomfortable with something, you have to be patient, you have to try again. But now, because we're so addicted to our phones and we are dependent so much on our social media accounts, this constant stimulation is reducing our attention span. It's also making us less patient, and it's reducing our memory. Because now, if you don't like a movie, you're like switching to the next movie. You go to the next movie. What's my next option? Too many options available, right? So sometimes just take a break, focus on what you need to focus. Even if you don't like something, it's okay to be uncomfortable and to deal with it, because by using all of this excess of social media, definitely it's impacting your memory, your attention span, and it's also making you impatient. So in the future, when you want to try something, you're going to give up very soon if you don't like control this urge of changing, that constant stimulation. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rahman.
Okay, next we have Sarah Rajkumar. Sarah, you can unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. I
Yes.
have a doubt regarding that when sometimes people post only happy moments online, how can we remind ourselves that social media doesn't show the full picture of someone else's life?
Absolutely. So, like I said, people post only 5% of their entire life, and we tend to compare 100% life with a person's 5% life, including you and me. I'm sure we don't post about the days that we are sad, or our mothers have shouted at us, or if you've had an argument with a friend. You're not going to go and post that on your socials, right? But if you're going out and hanging out with your friends, you're going to post it. So especially on a day that something is not going very well in your life, it is a very bad idea to go online and check what others are doing, because it's going to make you feel even worse about your situation. Rather, go meet a friend, call somebody who will care to listen, spend time with your family, do anything outdoors. Because social media is giving you, it's flooding with information. And although you don't want to feel bad, you're going to end up comparing, although you're aware everything you see online is not real, right? And again, influencers are getting money to advertise the products they are using, to show whatever they're showing you, they all are getting paid for it. So every time you engage with a post, they get money for it. So remember that. So it's not something that is that's your fault, but it's just how social media is built. So self control is very important. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Okay, next up we have Nazifa. Nazifa, you can go ahead by unmuting yourself. Nazifa? I hope I was audible to everyone.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, Nazifa, I can hear you.
Okay. Ma'am, I would like to know what role influencers play in our daily life and how does it shape our lifestyle?
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, I was unable to mute myself for a bit. Nasifa, can you please repeat your question?
Ma'am, I would like to know how influencers play in what role influencers play in our daily life and how does it shape our lifestyle?
Okay. So now you see, you have all types of influencers online, and again, they're getting paid. They are an influencer because it's become a part of their profession. It's a full-fledged profession for which they're getting money. They're not going to spend so much time, recording their videos, editing their content, because it takes a lot of good effort if it was not giving them something in return. So remember that everything that they do is not real. Everything that every product they're trying to sell you is not real. Nobody is going to get something out of eating maybe 10 packets of ramen together, right? They create such videos which are of nobody's use because they're getting paid for it. You are engaging with those posts, you're engaging, you're liking, or you're watching those reels, right? Which is giving them money. That's why they do such foolish things sometimes. And again, to have perfect lives, everything is sponsored. They don't have so many clothes that they every time wear new clothes and show. It's all sponsored, it's all a part of advertisement, because humanly it's not possible to have so many clothes and change your outfit every single day. They're getting money for it, it's a part of their profession, so you start considering their lives like actors. Everything they're showing is not real, so you must be mindful. And again, if it's getting too overwhelming, take a break and switch off, because yeah, that's the best way.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, I guess this is up last and the last person to ask the question, that is Haritra. You can unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. How can parents and teachers create a healthy dialogue about social media without making students feel restricted or judged?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that question. And yes, I think it's difficult because sometimes your parents, or I have my nieces who use social media, and they tell you, you don't get this or you don't get that, or they'll send me memes that I never get, or the lingos that you all use as Generation Z or Generation Alpha. Everything's very common on social media, but I'm still trying my best to learn it all. And it's okay, it's cool, some things are cool for you. So see that age gap, that cultural difference will be there, but it depends on how much you're also, it comes with balance. So make sure you don't give a chance to your parents or to your teachers to complain that you've not done something, or you're not studying, you're compromising on your studies, your time with your family, your work at school is not being compromised because of your social media accounts. So if you're trying to balance your social media use with whatever you need to do every day, then great. I'm sure they're not going to come and judge you or complain to you. And after today's session, I also hope that everything that you post online, you're more mindful about it, especially after I've mentioned to you about digital footprints. And again, as a counselor, I worked as a counselor. So even when we had to fill student application, we would track their social media accounts. We would see the kind of information they would post. So if a child was particularly engaging in creating memes or making fun of other people's, be it your friends, your teachers, anybody online, we would not give them a recommendation letter as counselors because it would impact the reputation, right? So everything that you post online, please be careful about it. Create a balance. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be funny or funny in a way that you have to put somebody else down. And all that information that you're sharing on social media is going to impact you later in life, even though you don't realize it today. So balance is very important. And yeah, I think that's about it. Once you balance it out and you're doing what you need to as a responsible student and a child to your parents, I'm sure they won't have a chance to complain. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I think
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I guess
yeah,
I'm audible now. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So really like the way you have portrayed, give an example to all our students. I guess it will be really helpful for them to go in a direction that will be very good for them because social media is so vast and we never know. Every coin has two sides and we don't know which one to look into. And since their age at present is in such a way that they can go either ways. So I guess this session was very much helpful, not just for them, but for us as well. So as we come to an end, I request Manu ma'am, I hope you are there, to please convey the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Alisha ma'am, for giving me the opportunity. As quoted, in a world of filters and fleeting trends, let us not forget the most powerful thing you can be is yourself. On behalf of the Indian School Bosher, we extend our heartful gratitude to Ms. Avani Ved for her time and wisdom. We also thank our dearest Principal Sir, Vice Principal Ma'am for their valuable guidance and to give us a chance for such insightful session and all attendees for making this session a meaningful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over to you, Alisha ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. In between, yes, ma'am. Yeah. So, as I was saying, I request everyone to please turn on your camera so that we can have one quick group picture together. Smile, please. Say cheese.
Has it been
Bijoy,
clicked?
sir, I hope it is done because we are keeping smiling and uh, Bijoy, sir, can you just give a thumbs up if it is done?
Done, Alisha ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out a little time for our students and for us as well. Thanks a lot. It was great knowing you, learning from you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody else.
We'll be signing off. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.